Hello everyone. So for today, Monday's video, there will be two videos. One video will be mostly review and talking about today's lesson, and then the second video will be going over today's worksheet together, today's phonics worksheet together. So just like last week, today I'm going to read through two groups of words, and you're going to listen carefully and pick out the sound, the similar sound that each have, not the similar writing or the similar spelling, but a similar sound. There's a particular sound that each of those words have in common. So I'm going to read the first group of words. Aquarium, asparagus, character, dictionary, February, January. So if you're listening very closely, you would notice that each of those words had the air sound, and the air sound was two letters, AR. Over here, I've written two of those words. Aquarium. Notice right here in the middle of the word AR, aquarium. Same thing for asparagus. Asparagus, right here in the center of the word, asparagus. The next group of words, magazine, obedient, pepperoni, piano, pizza, and submarine. And in those group of words, the similarity was the sound E, and the sound E was being made by the letter I. Here we have magazine. I, the I is making the E sound. Magazine. And the word obedient. Obedient. The I is making the E sound. Obedient. All right. So I will now read some sentences, and I know you're at home, but even if you're at home, you can still participate. So I'm going to read a couple sentences, and what you're going to do is when I say the sentence, remember we did subject-verb agreement? So when the subject and verb agree with each other, you will stay seated. And when they do not agree with each other, you will stand up. If I can find my sentences. Okay, first sentence. Marmots live in the high mountains. Marmots lives in the high mountains. So you should be standing because the subject and verb do not agree. It should be marmots live. Remember, when the subject is plural, a lot of times they'll end with an S. When the verb is singular, that's when a lot of times it will end with an S. So marmots being plural with lives being singular is incorrect. Should be marmots live. Next sentence. A marmot is related to squirrels and woodchucks. You should be seated because the subject-verb agreement is correct. Marmot is singular and is singular. Marmots eat much to gain weight before they hibernate. You should be standing. Marmots is plural, eats is singular. It should be marmots eat. They should both be plural. In the winter, a marmot hibernate almost 200 days. You should be standing because marmot is singular and hibernate is plural. It should be marmot hibernates. Remember, when the verb is singular, it will end with an S. So now, once again, you're at home, but you can still participate. I'm going to tell you 4 different ways I want you to say your name. So first way you're going to say it is you're going to say it loudly. Say your name loudly. I can't hear you, but your parents can hear you. Say your name loudly. And then I want you to say your name quietly. Say your name quietly. And then I want you to say your name quickly. Say your name quickly. And then I want you to say your name slowly. All right, so I had you say your name in 4 different ways. And so in each of those different ways, you were saying your names in particular ways. So I could ask you, how did you say your name? Remember, we were talking about adverbs, and the question defining adverb is how. So how did you say your name? You said loudly. How else did you say it? You said it quietly. How else did you say it? You said it quickly. And how else did you say it? You said it slowly. You said your name in 4 different ways. In each of those different ways, they all answer the question how. And notice each of those words also end in ly. Most adverbs end in ly. So those 4 different adverbs that I told you, the ways I told you to say your names, they all end in ly. They're adverbs describing the word say. I said say your name. Say your name how? Say it quickly. Say your name how? Say it loudly. Say your name how? Say it quietly. And say your name how? Say it slowly. All right, so now we've had our quick review. We're going to look at these sentences I put up here on the board. And these sentences, they make sense. Ooh. These sentences make sense by themselves. Kay writes. It makes sense. We know that Kay is writing something, but we can make the sentence even more interesting by adding an adverb. So Kay writes. What's the question for writing an adverb again? The question is how. So how does Kay write? We can say Kay writes neatly. Oh, so now we know that Kay writes neatly. Notice it ends in ly and it answers the question how. The next sentence says we sing. Well, how did we sing? We could say we sing joyfully, or we could say we sing loudly. Let's say loudly. We sing loudly. Notice it also ends in ly. We sing loudly. We already knew we sang, but now we know that we sing loudly. The last sentence is Bill worked. Well, how did Bill work? I can imagine that Bill worked quickly because he had some show he wanted to go watch back home. So he worked quickly so he could go back home to watch his favorite show. Bill worked quickly. Notice it also ends in ly, and it's telling us how. How did Bill work? Oops. Bill worked quickly. So that is today's lesson, talking about the adverbs. In the next video, don't forget to watch the second video. In the next video, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going over today's worksheet together, all right?